أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for coming and for those who are joining us online. Today we're starting the 17th word. I've studied part of the word, and so far I think the word is explaining what is it exactly that or not was it what can my perspective be when it comes to being in this world, and then how I feel towards this world, and moving to a different place. How can I make sense of that? How should I, or how can I feel about it? How can I think about that? What are my choices? I think this is a very heartwarming topic, because it's something that we can be struggling with, making sense of being in this world, knowing that, okay, well, there at some point my time here ends and then I move on to a different place. Well, what does that really mean? And how can I benefit from that? And should I hear this as good news or bad news? So I'm looking forward to today. And we will start with a verse as usual. It says, "In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate, that which is on earth we have made as a glittering show for the earth, in order that we may test them as to which of them are best in conduct. Verily, what is on earth we shall make but as dust and dry soil. What is the life of this world but play and amusement?" I will repeat them. That which is on earth we have made as a glittering show for the earth, in order that we may test them as to which of them are best in conduct. My first question here, what does test mean? And I know from previous, let's say previous commentary, there's this notion of it's okay to suffer, and because suffering is something that brings the best in you. So I'm wondering if the word test could have any different meanings, and as to which of them are best in conduct. Are we talking about us human, which of them among us, or are we talking which of them as in like creation? Again, I could be reading things literally, but it's a question on my mind. Verily, what is on earth we shall make but as dust and dry soil. Okay, interesting that at first it was a glittering show, and then all of a sudden it's dust and dry soil. And then what is the life of this world but play and amusement? My final question would be, what is the difference between earth, world, and life? how can I I know there's an obvious difference between life and earth and the world, but I feel like it's in this context, it's the world is one thing, earth is another thing. I'm not sure what to think of when I use these words. That's, I guess, my question. So let's see what the author. Okay, go ahead, Brother Ali.
So very quick reply rather than answer. I don't guarantee the answer. First of all, we keep saying that while we are reading the Quran speaks to human beings and expects the human beings to understand the message from their perspective, not from God's perspective. For example, the speaker, God may say, I am going to test you, and I will understand from my perspective that, this kind of creation, which is interestingly described here, we can go next on the next stage of reflection. I have to understand that it is a test for me, not that God will know who I am, what I am. My creator is my creator. I cannot really speculate about him. But from my side, I have to take care of my responsibility. Whatever is created in this world, first, everything is so beautiful, glittering, and lovable, and then we see that, everything is turned into dust and dry soil. What are you doing here? I would say, look, it is an opportunity for me to understand my reality. So let me look at it and try to understand the reason why everything is beautiful, and then turn it into horrible position, let's say dust and soil. What's wrong with the creator who creates everything beautifully and then makes it ugly, if you like, or something not lovable, disliked? What is that? I have to think about it. Rather than say that God is testing me, I have to say, what am I going to do with this kind of creation? That is the one of the four, where you ask, I think, three questions. One of them was related to it. And I have to think, looking at the universe, I have to think what the point can be in making my life enjoyable and then turning it into a horrible, unwanted old age problems of life, and then death. I have to make sense of it. What was the other questions? I don't remember. So one by one, if you have, then we can share together.
Yes, thank you very much. I think my last question was the difference between earth and world and life.
I don't think there is a specific difference, but whatever we understand the earth and the human life, that is what we are here. And the world, the earth is what we are witnessing. So depending on which point that we are paying attention to, we will see the same thing. Earth will be turned into dust and dry soil when at the end of the season, and then the life also become dust and dry, like dust and dry, because my body, if we don't think of my spirit, my body is going to turn into a soil, a piece of soil. So these are all the perspectives. Nothing really I see as far as I can. But if another of our friends want to make further comment, I would like to hear them. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or any replies to my questioning? I think as you were talking, I imagined that, okay, as a teacher, when I make a test for my, okay, I'll postpone my answer. Sorry, go ahead. I don't want to say anything new.
No, I'm just listening to, like, this, and I'm thinking, if I bring it inside, if I'm not looking outside at the creation, I find myself in times fully content, fully happy, just like the earth is adorned and and looks beautiful. And then, like, all of a sudden I find myself totally worried and shattered and seeing everything dark. So I see this, like, I see everything adorned and beautiful, and then I see in myself everything looking ugly. So I see it also inside me. Dr. Ali was saying, when we listen to the Quran, Allah knows, like, what we are feeling when he hears. So for me, it's a test, because I don't understand. For me, the test is, what is the meaning of everything, like, for a few days or for one day or whatever, everything looks fine. Then all of a sudden, this worry that comes and wipes out everything and makes me see everything black. So, and I still don't know how to deal with that. So I guess that's why I'm curious to find out what this discussion, where would it take us? Jazakallah khair.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's I appreciate what you shared, because that's a new way to look at the word test for me. Yeah, I guess what I was gonna share is that I imagined, if I'm a teacher, my students come in, I do want to make the class beautiful and I want them to enjoy their time. But I know that this class time is temporary, and I know that they're going to go home soon, and I need them to be prepared for even something different tomorrow. So the test here is to let me know, as a teacher, how much did they understand, so that if they understand everything, then I can just move them up. But if they didn't, then I will make another test, or I will teach them more, or like accommodate their lack of understanding at this level. And then, so it's almost like, on the one hand, I want them to play, but on the other hand, I want them to understand that there's something meaningful and there's something you need to pay attention to, because this is not the whole story. The classroom is not the whole story. That's it. All right. Let's see what the author will bring as an understanding of the verse. So he's saying, the all-compassionate creator, the munificent provider, the all-wise maker, made this world in the form of a festival and celebration for the world of spirits and spirit beings. adorning it with the wondrous embroideries of all his names, he clothes each spirit, great or small, elevated or lowly, in a body decked out with senses, suitable to it and appropriate for benefiting from the innumerable various good things and bounties in the festival. He gives each a corporal being and sends it to the spectacle once. And he divides the festival, which is most extensive in regard to both time and space, into centuries, years, seasons, and even days and their parts, and makes them all exalted festivals in the form of parades for all the groups of his creatures with spirits, and for his plant and vegetable artifacts. Especially the face of the earth in spring and summer. It is a series of festivals for the groups of small beings, so glittering it draws the gazes of the spirit beings and angels, and the dwellers of the heavens in the high levels of the world. For those who think and contemplate it, it is a place for reflection so wonderful. The mind is powerless to describe it. But in the face of the manifestations of the divine names of most merciful and giver of life in this divine feast and miracle festival, the names of subduer and dealer of death appear with death and separation. And this is apparently unconformable with the all-embracing mercy of my mercy encompasses all things. Okay, so he's taking us through the idea that everything is well, not even well, but beautifully designed, and that every spirit being is given its appropriate needs or appropriate senses. And if you choose to think and contemplate, it becomes a place of reflection. But then we're confronted with death and separation. And then, interestingly enough, the author is now going to be talking about mercy. So far, I'm curious actually to understand why is mercy coming in here. Yeah, but I can continue for the background noise. All right. Sorry, did I disconnect or I'm okay? Go ahead, Brother Ed.
You are okay. We can hear you
Good.
perfectly.
Okay.
Why is mentioned? Why mercy mentioned here and brought into the subject? Because from one aspect, it seems to be a merciful creator who is manifesting everything in the perfect way. And from another perspective, it looks like, as the word subduer and dealer of death is used here, he is not merciful at all. He is all killing everything at the end. Oh, The whole subject of the 17th world, this section of the book, is going to deal with this problem. And how are we going to benefit from it? I would only say, but. What is this but? We have to understand that what is happening in this world is all of them are not happening by themselves. These are the manifestations of the qualities of their creator. So we have to attribute, if we don't attribute the existence to a conscious creator, then we cannot go further in our reflections, in our trying to understand what is going on in this world. So we have to stop that. How do you explain the universe at this, what is going on in this world? If we understand that it is just accidentally happened, of course, we have to say something is happening from one side accidentally, beautifully, from another side, it happened to be so ugly. Something like nature, whatever they call it, I don't know, or they may have different names for it. From one aspect, seems to be wonderful, this Mother Nature, merciful Mother Nature. From another aspect, if you like, I'm joking here now, a crazy father. Mother is taking care of, fathers are killing them from one side. It is not, nature is not always merciful at all. But what do we mean by nature? Accidental happening. So we cannot solve any problem at all. We cannot make any sense of it because it is accidental. But if we understand that these are nothing but, as the text says, the manifestations of mercy. So all the manifestations of the names of a conscious being, which is called the names of God. If we understand and agree that a conscious being is doing all of this, then I can try to make sense of it. Because conscious, it is deliberately done. What does it mean? What does this conscious being mean to me here so that I can make sense of it? That is the prerequisite of going ahead with the text. I think we have to understand this. Otherwise, I thought before coming to this class, looked at the text and said, if someone doesn't accept that the universe is the production of a conscious being, the further explanations doesn't make sense at all. It kills the meaningful actions in the universe and makes it meaningless. I think we have to bear in mind this first. That's what my impression was about the text.
Thank you very much. I think also, I realized that the author is describing the creation as the result of a conscious choice. It's not like the plant is blah, blah, blah. It's more like, okay, the all-compassionate creator made this world. He divides, he gives. So it's a conscious will. And to see death also as the result of a conscious will is very interesting. Okay. Any other thoughts? Okay. However, in reality, there are several ways in which it is conformable. And one of these is as follows. after each group of beings has completed its turn in the parade, and the desired results have been obtained from it in a compassionate way, the most generous maker and compassionate creator makes most of them feel weariness and disgust with the world, and bestows on them a desire for rest and a longing to migrate to another world. And when they are to be discharged from their duties of life, he awakens in their spirits a compelling desire for their original home. All right. For me, I'm starting to see the mercy, because it's almost like, okay, Radwa, you will live this life, and when you get the desired results, you will start to feel this need for resting and longing and to move to another world. Not only that, you will also have a desire for your original home. So it would have been unmerciful if I'm just thrown from one place to another, not feeling or not understanding or not desiring that next place. It's new to me to see that the desire for rest or a longing to migrate to another world is described here as a positive thing, not something you have to work against or get rid of. Instead, oh, okay, this desire is given to you out of compassion. So so far I'm appreciating the author's understanding. Go ahead, I see a hand.
So from what he's saying and what I hear you saying, my understanding is the worries that come over me that are dark, the meaning of them, because they are sent by the same one who is sending all the sharha of the chest, all of this gratitude and happiness that you feel otherwise. So that darkness that comes is to act like the brakes from being so attached to everything that causes openness, so that because everything that causes openness that I am focusing on is related to this world, and all the fear and the darkness is also about something bad happening to everything I care about in this world. So maybe then the mercy in that is to don't get so attached here and look forward to having what the feeling that you need or the blessings that you need in a different world. Is that what you are? Is that understanding that I've shared the same understanding that you have?
I think for me, I see it more like it's not about being attached or being afraid of the darkness. It's more like, look, there is meaning for you feeling happy with the things you've received, or the glittering show that you have witnessed. There is meaning to that. And when the glittering show's over, there's also meaning to that. And the mercy here is you're prepared for both. The glittering show, you feel excited, you want it, that's good. And then when it turns into dust or when it's done, you're going to feel sad, but there's also a desire of, well, now this is not enough for me. I want something more. I actually have a desire for my original home, which is I want something eternal. So the sadness here is then used to understand that what you just saw makes you happy, you do love it, but that's not the point. The point is you're here temporary, so just realize who the owner of it is so that it's safe for you. If you don't realize the owner of it and you're just holding on to the object and you're trying to pursue the same object over and over again, you're going to put yourself in a situation where you get disappointed over and over again. Whereas you can understand, oh, okay, it's just done because its time is done, but it's not gone forever. If that makes sense. Go ahead, Brother Ed.
Thank you. Beautiful comments, and I'm happy to hear them. So when we notice that if someone gets a new car, he says, oh, I'm going to drive it carefully, and I'm not going to have an accident, hopefully, of course, and, takes care of his car, maybe cleans it every week or at the weekends. So he's very careful about his car. That shows that human beings have the desire for being the best in the best position in creation. Everything must be the best. This is very human. That is our desire. That is given to us. But in spite of this desire, we are not given in this world the best. After 10, 20 years later, this man doesn't care about his car anymore. It's an old one, don't worry about it. If only I have a new one. Now, if only I have a new one. That is very human. We cannot deny our reality. For example, coming to my age, I say, if only I was young. Where is the one who gave me existence when I was a child, when I was young and energetic, etc.? We hope that that one must come to my aid here. That is why we are hoping our original home, the original home where we came from, by the one who brought me here, original home. Of course, in traditional understandings, a general understanding, original home, the word of spirit. But the spirit is here in action, desiring not to get old, not to find myself in trouble, and to have a perfect life, enjoyable life. That is my original home. The one who created me, the form of the creation which I loved, must come to my aid now. That is the main message I got from this this passage that we read lately. The last resort will be the one who gave me the perfect existence. Where are you? If you are a conscious being, I want you. And of course, at the beginning of the text that we read, the last part of the text, we read, I get old and this desire becomes even stronger and stronger, has an effect on me, and becomes very apparent that I am desiring this original home. It means the one who gave me the best existence that I enjoyed, I experienced and enjoyed. If we understand this, we can really face the problem easily, thinking that this being is deliberately telling me something that I have to realize, I have to understand. he should not mean to torture me. But what is the solution? Inshallah, we will read and see what is the solution.
All right. Moreover, it's not far from the infinite mercy of the most merciful that just as he bestows the rank of martyrdom on a soldier who perishes on account of his duty while fighting, and rewards a sheep slaughtered as a sacrifice by giving it an eternal corporal existence in the hereafter, and the rank of being a mount for its owner on the bridge of Sirat, like Buraq, so too with other animals and beings, with spirits who perish while performing the dominical duties peculiar to their natures, and in obeying the divine commands, and who suffer severe distress. It is not unlikely that there should be for them in the inexhaustible treasures of his mercy a sort of spiritual reward and kind of wage suitable to their capacities, and that they should not be undully troubled at departing this world. Indeed, they should be pleased. None knows the unseen save God. I don't have any questions here. Or anything to share. Does anybody have anything to share? How? Okay, go ahead. Yes.
Do you think we should pay attention to this usage of, in this context now, usage of martyrdom and also Buraq, and it's something to take you to a place wherever you want? It means you can be, Buraq means you will be given a means that you can attain whatever you want to desire. That is Buraq, although it is described in the Islamic tradition, a means of going to ascension of the Prophet, Miraj of the Prophet. That was the means as well. The Buraq took the Prophet. It is, of course, symbolic teaching. Symbolic teaching means the Buraq symbolizes something, definitely. So that through this means that the Prophet needed to use, or a person needed to use for his own ascension, a means, so that you will attain what you want to do. So the Buraq is here representing that if a person witnesses the creation in such a way that it must come, even whether it is good or bad, that we don't like. We like and we don't like. It means our body is perfectly functioning, we like, and when we get old, our body starts crumbling away. So we don't like. All the existence of any kind needs to be given by a one who is taking care of the universe. If we witness this, we will be shahid. If it becomes, if you notice the structure of Arabic word, shahid and shaheed, shahid means witnesses an event. A person who witnesses an event. It happens only once. But shaheed means He is the one who is always witnessing what is going on, as far as our subject is concerned, in creation, constantly realizing that whatever comes into existence necessarily needs a conscious and able creator who is the source of all the qualities I can see in the existence of everything. If I live in this world, I become shaheed. It means constantly witnessing the manifestation of the qualities of the creator, whether I like it or I don't like it. We always give the example, to create a fresh fruit needs to be done by the one who created the whole universe. So it is taking place within the context of the order of the universe. To create a rotten fruit also needs to be created by a one who is creating everything within the context of the universe, therefore who is the Lord, owner of the universe. If I keep witnessing that, I will have one, if you like, the point of hope for me, point of satisfaction for me. This one is all powerful, all just, all wise. He must be doing something deliberately in order to teach me something. Let me understand what is the wisdom in the way the things come into existence in this world. If I keep vigilance, always my consciousness is open that everything needs to come into existence by a one who is absolute in his all qualities. So this one, what does he mean to teach me now? Towards the end of my life, I get fed up with my life. I want to go away and get another life. That is my desire. What is the point in these two opposite directions that I am experiencing in this world? We have to keep in mind there is only one way of solution. If, again, I will repeat what I said earlier on, if I understand that this is the acts of a conscious being doing something to me so that I am witnessing, and I must be given what I want, what my desires want, the perfect existence by the one whose qualities are perfect. No one else can solve my problem. This expectation is the core of the solution of this problem. Good and evil at the same time, according to me, evil, according to me, good. So I don't like it, but the creation of everything is perfect, can only be performed by an absolute being. I should never, ever forget this reality.
Thank you very much. All right, continuing. However, although man, the noblest of beings with spirits, and the one who benefits most from the festivals with regard to both quality and quantity, is captivated by the world and absorbed in it. As a work of mercy, the most merciful induces in him a state of mind whereby he feels disgust at the world and a longing to travel to the eternal realm. Okay. A person whose humanity is not plunged in misguidance profits from that state of mind and departs with a tranquil heart. Now, by way of example, we shall explain 5 of the aspects which produce that state of mind. Okay, so, all right, ready to see the 5 aspects? The first, by showing with the season of old age the stamp of transience and decline on the beautiful and inviting things of this world and their bitter meaning, it makes a person feel disgust at the world and causes him to seek a permanent beloved in place of the transient. Okay, again, by showing with the season of old age the stamp of transience and decline on the beautiful and inviting things of this world and their bitter meaning, it makes person feel disgust at the world and causes him to seek a permanent beloved in place of the transient. So for me, the message is, if I start to think, if I start to feel disgust at this world and the transience of it, that's okay. Now the question is, what is permanent, or how can I find a permanent instead or in place of the transient? So the feeling here is to point at a question, or to help me look for what I really want, or what I really need, or what I like, basically. The second aspect is, go ahead, brother.
Now, this first one is really establishing the foundation of almost every kind of reasoning related to this subject of apparent contradiction in creation, as far as I am concerned. Because I understand that as my beautiful life, beautiful experience of my life, enjoyable life is disappearing, I realize that something is coming out. The desire is coming out from my feelings much more active and apparent. So I realize in my own reality, in the reality of my own life experience, I see, look, I really want permanent happiness. I don't want transient. So this desire is the only motivation for me to seek a one who can give me permanent happiness. If a young person doesn't feel that he needs anything, he is very satisfied with his own existence, he will never desire that I want this youth life permanently. He will not realize that he has this sense. This sense is not active. So it is beautiful that I am getting old, so that my desire for perfect existence becomes much, much more apparent, and I experience it in my real life. I said, I don't want this old age. I want permanently to be young. Now I become aware of my reality and then say, do I want permanently young? Who can do that? Who can? Then it is going to be the first stage of our ascension, mirage. And the burak is old age, the situation that I don't like, my situation of existence that I don't like. It becomes a burak now, a means of ascension. reaching out the absolute being and necessity, realizing the necessity of the existence of the absolute being who can satisfy this desire. The universe itself is transient. It cannot help me at all. Nothing can help me because they are also going to rot and disappear from existence or receive death, destruction. Oh, it is beautiful. That is why we have to keep in mind the first, as we read here, why I am given this beautiful life, and then slowly, slowly, slowly giving a kind of existence that I'm losing this beautiful existence, enjoyable existence. This is the reason and means, if you like, that makes me realize I need an eternal being. This is my mirage. Beautiful. Oh, very wise creation. Thank you. I'm excited. It's really very wise creation. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the second aspect is since 99% of all friends to whom a person is attached have departed this world and settled in another, impelled by his heartfelt love, it bestows on him a longing for the place they have gone to, and makes him meet death and the appointed hour with joy. The third aspect. Oh, does anybody want to say anything about the second aspect? The third aspect, by means of certain things, it makes a person realize the infinite weakness and impotence in man. Okay, I'll just finish this and then you can speak. And understand how heavy are the burdens of life and responsibilities of living, and awakens in him a serious wish for rest and a sincere desire to go to another world. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think like the second point is really strong for someone like me, where the people like that I really, really love, my father, my brother, my best friends who have left, and I find myself like, don't like.
Sorry, I can't hear you anymore.
On. I say like there's someone be me now.
Now is good.
Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just saying the second point is a big point, is a really strong point. Like, you know, when people that you really love and that they were pillars in your life, like people that were like my best friend, someone that I would speak to about everything, someone that I had comfort with, my father, who I felt was like, you know, who was a big source of love, support, safety in my life. So these people, when they leave, I guess like inside my heart, they haven't left. Like I still want to be with them. And here, especially for me, because I'm in the United States and they were in Egypt, you know, like, you know, I'm gonna see them when I go back to Egypt, like, you know. So that feeling is still there. And that feeling, I've seen it in my father. Before he died, with years, he would speak so much clearly about his grandparents and about his house that he grew up in, and he would take me there. So I guess that is the second point, is a really important point to me, because it assures us in a way that they are really there, like they have not went away. Like, you know, part of us mourns heavily that they have left, but there is a part that, especially towards the, like, the more we age, that sees them more clearly. Like my father in his old ages, he was describing all his loved ones and conversed clearly. And I remember my father in younger age did not discuss that. So, so I guess the second point becomes a preparation that we are really going to meet them, because why would those memories become very, very important and very nostalgic to us the more we grow? So I just think that second point just spoke to me in volumes.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Brother Ali, go ahead.
Exactly as our friend Alia said, I desire the same thing, but it helps me realize that although I desire it, I cannot keep my mother and father, my beloved friends, etc., and the beloved creation out there. I'm impotent. That is why also in the second point, longing for it. And the third point emphasizes, I long for it, I want it, but I cannot do it. So who gave me this sense of desiring to keep my beloved friends and whatever I loved in this world? It is not me that he can preserve it. And the sense in me really exists, but I cannot help. So it is another Burak, which is given to us, that means of reaching the certainty in our understanding of the reality, that my impotence makes me realize that even I am a conscious being, I cannot keep my beloved ones, but my senses desire it. There must be a wisdom in the existence of my senses, as well as I am not able to keep them. Although I love them, I'm ready to sacrifice my life really to keep my beloved ones alive. I can't. So through this impotence, which is mentioned in the third, impotence of man, it becomes a beautiful way or means of realizing who I am and whom I want. Whom I want. To realize this, so that I will say, okay, the mountains can mountains, can stars, can galaxies, can DNA keep my mother alive? Nothing at all. But I want it. Where did I get this idea? That is beautiful, that we are created in this very wise way to understand who we are, who our owner is. It is perfectly arranged and very meaningful, mashallah.
Thank you very much. Thank you both for your reflections. It's very meaningful. I guess the interesting thing I just noticed is that, contrary to what I used to hear, is that it's okay to I'm not sure how to say it. Okay, that I like how here the author is acknowledging, okay, you're going to have friends, you're going to be attached to them, and then you're going to miss them when they're gone. And I think previously I used to get the understanding that not attaching is the best way out. Or it's more like when you don't attach, you're not going to feel the pains, and that's great. Whereas the author is saying, and what I hear everybody here sharing is, no, we have to like realize the reality of how much you're gonna like befriending and attaching to people, but understand what that means. Or like, what's the true meaning of all of this? Yeah, that's all. I think we can stop here. Any final reflections, understanding, questions? And I think
sorry, just
go ahead.
I really like the point that you shared at the end. I just wanted to add on. So pretty much, I think what the author also helps us do is how to cope with these feelings that we have. So definitely the type of setup we live in the universe requires us to get attracted to things, but then how can I go on interacting with the universe in the way that will help me I guess cope with everything. So like you were talking about getting attached to things, befriending them, but like befriending things in the most appropriate way. And I think that's what the author helps us do that, because in and of itself, any event or object is not the source of existence of the qualities that are manifested. And I think that's what we all need to be vigilant of. And that's where the consciousness, I guess, should come into play, being cognizant that things are here as a display for me to get to know the source of its existence. Inshallah, let's all live with this awareness. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for that. All right, let's stop here. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.